Thousands of tons of plastic waste are allegedly sent in droves to Malaysia, where illegal plastic recycling factories have been multiplying at an alarming rate since China banned plastic imports at the start of the year. Before the ban, China had been accepting around 50% of the world's waste. So the ban now means that many countries are now scrambling to find a new market to export their unwanted plastics. And a popular destination is Malaysia. Shafika Razali reports.
Checks by NTV7's Mandarin News crew in August this year found that most of the factories are hidden in palm oil plantations because rent is cheap and their locations accessible to waterways. Owners of fish and plant ponds operating nearby claim to have lost all their stock in the past 2 months due to the toxic wastewater. Plastics that cannot be recycled, either because they are too contaminated or just not economical to do so, are either dumped or burned, leading up to a devastating effect on the environment and the health of those living nearby. An investigative report for Insight, a program on Radio New Zealand RNZ, has also supported these findings that Malaysia has become a popular plastic dumping destination for New Zealand, Australia and the United Kingdom. According to RNZ, New Zealand's exports to Malaysia alone has tripled in the last 6 months, contributing to the mushrooming of nearly 42 illegal plastic recycling factories in Dinjarum. In June, it was reported by the UK's National Audit Office that Malaysia has become the main destination for the UK's plastic waste. It was reported that about 250,000 tons of plastic were exported as waste to other countries in the first quarter of this year, with Malaysia receiving 17% of the amount. Reuters also reported earlier this year that annual imports of plastic scrap into Malaysia jumped to 450,000 to 500,000 tons in 2017 from 288,000 tons in 2016, with Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia and Thailand sharing a spot to become among the top Southeast Asian countries to replace China's previous role.
If you need to prevent pollution, you basically need to incur costs. So if they are taking waste here in the pretext that they're going to recycle it into something else, that means they need to deliver that. We are not sure whether that's monitored or not, but based on the complaints that have emerged in the media, it is the locals are actually reporting they're basically burning and just dumping this waste in the palm oil estates and so forth, and nothing much is being done. Now, when you burn these materials, basically plastics, they have other chemicals in it which can cause a lot of health problems. Secondly, if you burn it or even you leave it exposed under ultraviolet, these chemicals can actually break down and enter the water streams to groundwater, and because the location where it's happening is very close to seaside, there is a potential also chemicals reaching to the seafood. So you might have shellfish and so forth. It might even enter food chain. Well, the issue actually can be resolved. We have 3 ministries involved, the local government ministry, the Ministry of Environment, and also on the other hand, the Ministry of Health. So I think they can come together, work as a team and find a solution for this. And the members of public, I think they do not need to fear anything. I mean, end of the day, it is their health being impacted, and it is the authorities' job. They are paid to do this job. They're supposed to come down and solve problems. And it is very, very coward behavior if they are just pointing fingers to each other. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can do that. But if they are given position as Director Generals or even ministers or deputy ministers, they should be ashamed if they are pointing finger. Because when they point one finger to the other party, the rest of the fingers are pointing back to them. So they should start doing their job and stop pointing fingers.
Shafika Farahin Razali for 7 Edition.
Water, Land and Natural Resources Minister Dr. A. Xavier Jayakumar today called on the relevant authorities to suspend, without fear or favour, all unlicensed plastic waste recycling factories in Kuala Langat, Selangor. The Kuala Langat MP said the unabated recycling activities continued to pollute the environment and pose health risks to nearby residents in his constituency. In a statement released today, he said the activities continued despite his order last month to the Kuala Langat Municipal Council MDKL to suspend the operations of all plastic waste recycling factories in Kuala Langat. Further adding that the continued operations of these operators could possibly mean two things: that the authorities and enforcement agencies were either in cahoots with the operators or that they are simply not carrying out their duties. Xavier also received feedback from complainants in his constituency alleging that Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB) had failed to cut the electricity supply to the illegal plants and their waste dump sites, citing legal issues. Other complaints include the alleged lackadaisical attitude of MDKL and the Selangor Department of Environment (DOE) in conducting enforcement operations to ensure that the plastic recycling operations and subsequent pollution were put to a stop. This, he said, has led to his constituency and the country to be targeted as a prime destination for plastic waste dumping.